Hey guys, Professor Bill, Comic Book University, and Challenge of the Super Sons issue number 4 continues to be a solid book that simply does not feel like 23 pages as they advertise in the Comixology. There's got to be something wrong, right? Has to be. Anyway, dude, really good book. I guess it's the idea that it's just but they made the comic book for the widescreen, the monitors, where your phone turns sideways, whatever. Guys, let's talk about who made this comic book. Talk a little bit about the story itself. So, gotta get back in time, which is obviously a reference to the Huey Lewis and the News song from Back to the Future. Freaking good song, baby. Bring back the 80s. Let's go. Peter J. Tomasi does the story and the words. The art is George Corona. Colors by Luis Guerrero, and Rob Lay does the letters. Cover art, Corona and Guerrero. Have a Corona on me, baby. I like the idea they're still able to continue putting out a solid comic book that still feels good for kids and adults. This one might be a little bit harder for kids because Vandal Savage appears in here, and you're gonna have to know who the guy is. At least with Faust, you'd be like, I don't know who he is, but he just looks so cool. Who's this big ape-looking dude? Plus, it says like 50,000 years ago in Africa. First thing I'm thinking off my head is racist. You can never mention the word Africa without somebody screaming racist at some point or another, right? That being said, racist. So there's a white guy in Africa. I guess depending on which part of Africa, 50,000 years ago, that's quite some time. I don't know. Do we have genetic records to find out what's what? All that being what it is, yeah, you have him going through time and whatnot, but like the slow way, because obviously he's an immortal. And Faust catches up with him at some point. I think it was in the 16th century. And they're like, yeah, we're going to do some cool things. And we're like, when? And I don't know, soon. And all of a sudden the Super Sons show up. And it's like, it's a good thing, because I have a feeling that Vandal Savage would have beaten the crap out of freaking Faust at some point or another, man. But like, hey, how you doing? Bam! How come you lied to me, man? Like the dude just wants to die. It's not so weird, but it's funny. Like on the face of it, we've seen this before in movies. It's not that big of a surprise. It's just interesting to see his take on it here because again, kids book. So I thought it was done tastefully, where a kid might ask a mom and dad a question, and suddenly you got to start breaking out the lexicon and start having a conversation about philosophy and whatnot. That being said, just wait until the kids ask what Faust means. The Faustian bargain. Um, Nothing major really happened in this book, but this is the book that this is basically, even though it says issue 4, it's basically issue, I guess you say 1.5, because it comes right in between issue 1 and 5. This is that lost thing. And it didn't give me any kind of a reason why this would happen here, which is odd. But okay, I guess the next issue will do something also to explain what's going on. Anyway, what I liked about this issue the most was that there was the flashback panel where it showed on like a magical screen almost all the different things that have happened, and it looks like some things that haven't happened. I don't remember. Did they fight Chemico at some point? Chemico, did was he fought? I don't remember that at all. The big green guy with the whole push thing. I mean, I'm a little lost here. If not, well, then it's a Simon the Future, which I'm all aboard for that. Let's go. He's definitely one of the cooler characters they can kick some butt on and get their butt kicked on. Guys, at the heart of it, this is really just a comic book that, like, what is there to really review except to talk a little bit of the book and say all the good, squishy feelings that you feel when you're reading the book or when you've read the book? Like, this is heartwarming as hell. And that's really just all there is to it. Don't expect, even though it's 23 pages, like I counted them. I looked on Comics Out. Yeah, it's 23 full pages, dude. That said, it doesn't feel like it. The book just goes so fast. It's time, DC. Start putting this out in trade because I really want my kids to read this. Anyways, nothing else has changed aside from that. It's still a fantastic book you're going to enjoy. Talk to you guys later. Like the video, watch an ad. Professor Bill, Comic Book University. Class dismissed.